Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Ask Ivan episode 6. Today, I'm going to do something slightly different. It's going to be not Ask Ivan. It's going to be Ivan Speaks. And the reason why I've decided to do this today is because of what has happened in the last few days. I'm sure everybody has been talking about it, has been reading about it, about the Taman Medan church protest. And I know that it is something which is very, very sensitive, highly sensitive. But I think we as a nation need to grow up. It's about time we grow up. 58 years of independence, it's time that the silent majority, the silent moderate majority speaks up. We have been living in peace and harmony for more than 58 years actually, if you count the days prior to Merdeka. And the days of the British rule, and even prior to that as well. From the 19th century, we have had hordes of immigration, people immigrating from China, from India, brought in by the British. And I think the reason why we are the way we are today is because of history. It is not a freak incident of history. Nation building is such a big part of the global community. Nowadays, you will find that, especially in the 21st century, we are living in such a globalized world that almost there is no borders. Even internet, there is no borders within the internet. And I think that is why also nations become a little bit more paranoid probably, and a lot of governments face this difficult task in keeping their culture, their community as one. Now, what I'm really, really disappointed and sad is that never before in the history, I don't think in the history of Malaysia, have we had a situation where the church leaders or the church finally succumb to the pressures of the community and remove their cross from being displayed at the church building. Now, this is not a very good precedent. And I understand why the church leaders do that. It is not because of their lack of faith, of putting it and keeping it up there. I respect the church leaders, and I would also like to acknowledge that they did that for the greater good of the community, their congregation, as well as their safety. Now, that is where the issue is. Now, if it can happen to one church, it can happen to all the churches, it can happen to all the other places of worship as well. The problem that we are facing right now is, what do we do to stem this extremist tide? All you require is 50 people to go in front of a church and picket and create enough fear, and because of the fear, you will succumb to these pressures. That is not right. And I think it is time that the moderate Malaysian majority step up to defend our rights and to uphold our constitution, to allow moderate Malaysia to live in peace and harmony. Why do we allow such things to happen? Maybe because the moderate majority would also say, well, let's just not give them airtime. Let's just leave them alone. I'm questioning the wisdom of that. Because if you do that, you are also supporting it. Silence, and this is what we call it, silence means consent. We don't agree, but we don't do anything to nip it in the bud. I do know that majority of my Muslim friends condemn that act. There are a lot of people who are coming out and condemning this act online. I do know also that a lot of my friends, Muslim friends, Malay friends, don't agree to this, and this doesn't reflect them. These are just small majority, extremist majority, minority that is creating havoc and giving Islam and the Malay Muslims a bad name. But like the saying goes, bak kata pepatah Melayu, kerana nila setitik rosak susu sebelanga. This is in no way accusing the whole community, but it is also time that leaders from each community step forward to claim back our place, our space. This space has long, in the last few years especially, been dominated by extremist views, and nothing is being done to stop it. So I appeal to all of you that it is time we as Malaysians, the moderate Malaysians, step forward and say enough is enough. We want the rule of law. We want human rights to be respected. We want race and religious tolerance to be implemented as well as accepted in this beautiful country of ours, Malaysia. I wish all of you the best, and I really truly hope that we will one day become great again. Adios amigos, Hidup Malaysia.